Oh hi, I did see you there because that's where I set up the camera. Why do so many people act like they don't know that it's there? Speaking of questions, I've reached 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much for subscribing to me. In order to celebrate that, I thought that I would make a Q&A video where I will answer questions from some of my viewers and subscribers. And this is that video. Happy Wednesday, Paul Talkers and other viewers. I'm Paul Roth, this is Where Paul Talks, and let's get started with the viewer and subscriber submitted questions. The reason you're seeing me here in my bed is because I've got my laptop here in front of me, and that's where I'm going to be reading the questions from. Colorful Oddity on Tumblr asks, my question is it cold there? Because you look cold, Paul. I was pretty cold. It was like in the 40s over here in Maryland. Now it's not so bad. It's like 51 degrees outside, but it's still cold. On Twitter, The Ginger Pat asks, what are your thoughts on pumpkin spiced substances and or Halloween? Pumpkin spice substances used to be one of my favorite things, but I'm kind of over it this year. I'm much more into like cider and mulled apple flavors. That's my jam this year. As to Halloween, I've never really been a big fan of it because I don't think that I can do very good costumes, and I feel weird when people look at me. Anyway, when I'm in a costume and they look at me, I don't know how to feel. But I did a Halloween video this year, and I'll link to it in the doobly-doo. Also on Twitter, Asante B asks, what are 3 of your favorite videos that you've made and why? I used to have some go-to answers for this question, but my mind has recently changed, so now I'm going to say that one of them is the Veda video that I made where I did an impression of my friend Amber. And I liked that video because I thought it was goofy, and she liked it too. So, success. Another one is the collab that I did with you, Asante, where we sang A Whole New World from Aladdin. That was a lot of fun. I liked singing, and it was my first, in-person collab with another YouTuber. And third is an old favorite, my 500 subscribers video, where I had a bunch of people who were watching me send in videos of themselves singing along to, or dancing to, or lip-syncing to Sarah Bareilles' Brave. And I tied that video in with a fundraiser for RAINN. It turned out well, I'm proud of my editing on that. I still like the song, so those are my 3. I'll link to all 3 of those in the doobly-doo as well. Fair Lloydies asks, what was the last thing to make you cry with happiness or laughter? I don't remember exactly which episode it was, but I think it was an episode of Just Between Us on YouTube. It was so funny, it had me crying with laughter, literally. FranJustFranOK on Twitter asks, what is stressing you out the most at the moment and how are you dealing with it, unless that is too personal? As we all know, I am not afraid to get personal on my channel, but that does get me in trouble. Let me see if there's anything I can say. Probably the idea of getting Christmas cards and presents to all the people I want to give them to when I don't have a lot of money this year. That's stressing me out a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Even when I'm stressing out over Christmas, I'm still pretty happy about Christmas. Nice One Francie on Twitter, who I believe she's going to be at about 1,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel now, and congratulations Francie as soon as you get there, asks, if you had the money and resources to produce any format/show for YouTube, what would you do? I have 2 ideas that leap to mind. One, I'd like to do a series following dogs that come into animal shelters, watching them get rehabbed and then adopted out. I would call it Unsheltered, and I think it would be a nice feel-good series here on YouTube. And 2, I would like to do a YouTube production of Into the Woods or some other musical. Maybe Hamilton? But Into the Woods is my old favorite. Can you imagine an Into the Woods that was staffed entirely with people that you recognize from YouTube? I think that could be amazing. From YouTube, Corolla T asks, have I asked you about Natu before? Ever tried it? Like it? I know what it is. It's that fermented soybean dish from Japan. I've never tried it. I'm interested in trying it though because it's vegetarian. From Instagram, Curiously Just Megan asks, what's your favorite quote or saying? Even if it's a funny one or even deeply motivating. I'm going to give you 3. My go-to motivational quote is, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. It's from 1928, John Shedd. And my go-to funny quote is from Terry Pratchett, build a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day, set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. But this year I read an interview with Stephen Colbert, and there was a quote in there attributed to him, although he may have been quoting something else, at every moment we are volunteers. And that kind of reminds me that whatever I'm doing in my life, and on YouTube, I am choosing to do this. And that's important to remember. Back on Twitter, Magic Cat Jenny asks, would you rather be rich or famous? This feels particularly topical because of Asena, but my answer has pretty much always been the same. I would rather be rich. With fame, I could accomplish some things, it is true. But with money, I could help so many people's lives directly and immediately. I'd rather be rich. Back to Instagram, Livy_Burke asks, if you could change one thing about YouTube, what would you change and why? I would make all of the business decisions and engineering decisions of YouTube transparent. Like if they change something, they'll need to actually explain to everybody why they're changing it, what the reasoning was, what all of its effects are going to be. Transparency is what I would bring to YouTube. On Twitter, Emily Grace asks a bunch of questions. They're so great. I'm just going to pick out a couple of them. Best TV show ever? Parks and Recreation. Do you believe in magic? In a young girl's heart. Are you a magician? If you believe I am. Why is the sky blue? Because it misses the dinosaurs. Steakatina asks, best book you've read this year or in the last few years? I think probably Snuff by Terry Pratchett. The changing of perspective of thinking goblins are just monsters to thinking goblins are people, that's relevant to me in a lot of ways. And that's my Q&A video. I hope that you liked it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. That will help get this video to more viewers. And if you want to see more of me on this channel, please go to youtube.com/PaulRoth and subscribe. Be sure to check the doobly-doo for links to lots of stuff that I mentioned in this video. And sincerely, thank you to every single person who has subscribed to me. It is amazing that I have over 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate it every day. And here it is at the end of my video. Thank you for making it this far. At the end of my video is where I always say, tomorrow will be even better.